how I focused my thoughts was to write it down. That was how I made sense of how I felt about something. It became like a therapeutic practice.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth, and I'm interviewing Jacob Anderson for Place to Be Children's Mental Health Week. Their theme this year is This Is My Place, which is all about having a sense of belonging. So you're an actor, you're a singer, and a musician. Do you have a preference between the three?
I don't have a preference, but I think that they all serve different purposes at different times of day, sometimes even. Like, I think that acting is a good way to get out of my head. Writing songs is a good way to like put my energy into something and like really think about how I feel. It's like a reflection thing. So I like them in different ways.
Who are your musical influences?
Oh, that's a good question. I am a big fan of musicians that like mix lots of different genres. I've been watching a lot about Sly Stone recently and Lil Richard. Lil Richard didn't really mix genres that much, but he was like, this is like the forebearer of rock and roll.
Yeah. I'm not really like a rock and roll fan. I listen to music, but I don't know if this is offensive, but I kind of skip songs quite easily.
It's not offensive at all. You got to follow what you enjoy.
Yeah.
I find it really hard to answer that question about who my influence is, because it's kind of like, it's just whatever I like. It's like all of the music I like.
Yeah.
Do you have a particular favorite?
It would probably be like No Tears Left to Cry by Ariana Grande or something like that, because I do like that song. It was like a very popular song a long time ago, and I never really listened to it, and then I listened to it, I was like, oh my gosh, that actually is a really nice song. So I do like that one.
I like Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's great. Is your favorite artist as well?
Yeah, especially just after she did Wicked, so definitely after that.
I've seen Wicked, the first part, like 10 times.
Wow.
My 5-year-old's very into witches. So Ariana Grande is a big deal in our house.
How do you use music and creativity to help your mental health?
That was my solace when I was a kid. That's how I focused my thoughts, was to write it down. And then writing it down in basically like a journal, which became like a lyric book. That was how I made sense of how I felt about something. It became like a therapeutic practice. And I still use it the same way. I wish that for everybody, that they just have, whatever it is, that they just have something that they can put their energy into, whether it's positive energy or difficult energy or whatever it is, they can put it into that thing. You can make something new. You can repurpose that energy and then hopefully share it with other people.
When do you feel most like you belong, or you are truly yourself?
I feel most like myself when I'm around other people making something, like a kind of like a group project, whether that's an album or being on set. I think just like creating something is when I feel most like myself. How about you?
I feel like I feel most like myself when I'm not trying to be like someone else, or like I'm not trying to hide my real personality because I'm scared someone's going to say something. So I feel like most like myself when I'm being myself. Yeah. Really.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So how does it feel when you belong to something or somewhere?
Do you know, have you heard about flow? Like when you're in flow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that feeling when you're just like, you're using your brain, but you're not like over calculating or over editing yourself, and you're just like in a state of flow. That feeling is what I get when I'm in a space where I feel like I belong and I'm doing something that makes me happy and makes me feel calm. Yeah, it's the best feeling.
Yeah.
Getting lost in it.
Belonging isn't just felt from a place, it can be from things or people too. What are those for you?
Well, my family, I could feel like my kids and my wife, like I feel like I really belong with them. But also, I think when the people I collaborate with, when I feel like we have like a mutual taste, or like we have a similar taste, we have a different taste, but like we found a way to combine. So like good collaborators, that's also a good way to feel like I belong.
Now, you're known for like big TV series like Game of Thrones, Doctor Who, what or who helps you feel supported during long days or months of filming?
That's a hard one because they're all different. Because I think when you're making a TV show or a film, everybody is so, like, everyone's so focused on their job and the thing that they're doing. And you do collaborate, but it's like everybody's sort of expected to bring their own thing. So I feel like the what is preparation. Seems really simple, but just knowing my lines really well.
Yeah.
Because then you can just like play outside of that, you know, it just comes out, and then you can change and you can do all that kind of stuff. So I think preparation makes me feel like ready, and it makes me feel like it's all gonna be all right.
Yeah, same with me.
Yeah.
Because like I like to sing, so I like it when I know the lyrics, and then I can play around with different voices, different tones, different like skill levels, and what you can add to it. Because what you don't want to do is you don't know your full script, so you don't know the lyrics, and you're trying to do this and that, but you don't actually know what you're saying. So it just sounds really weird. So yeah.
And this is probably the same with singing in terms of like enjoying something. Is that it? Like I always know if I know my lines, then one of my favorite things about being on the set is meeting people. And I think if I'm prepared, then I'm not spending like brain energy trying to like hold on to my lines. I can just have a nice time, have a nice day with people.
So you're an official champion supporter of Place to Be, the charity behind the Children's Mental Health Week campaign. What inspires you about this charity?
When you're growing up, you have so much to think about, particularly in a school setting. And I think to be able to take a second to talk about what's going on emotionally, what's going on at home, what's going on in your friendship group, to be able to sort through some of that and think about how you actually feel is a really invaluable thing for a young person to have. And it's, you know, like I say, I wish I had it when I was growing up.
Yeah.
I love them. I love what they do.
Finally, what do you do or say to help someone feel like they belong?
Figure out what you care about.
Yeah.
What you're interested in. And if you find that thing and you just put as much energy as you possibly can into that thing, there will definitely be people in this world, on your street, at school, in your friendship group that have a similar or the same interest as you. Find those people.
Yeah.
If you can, find those people, hold on to them. And that gives you like a sense of belonging. And I think it's like being a part of a larger thing. I think sometimes people can think of belonging as like conformity or like being like everybody else. And actually I think finding belonging in other people that are interested in the specific things that you're interested in is massive.
Yeah.
It's life-changing. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What interested you about presenting, and is presenting what you want to do?
I would say I definitely want to be a presenter, and I generally like talking to people, but with my passion it's more I want to be an actor, and I enjoy like filming, and I enjoy talking to people, and I enjoy portraying someone different, and like I feel like I generally am an extrovert, so like going to set every day is probably going to be quite a fun thing for me to do. And what got me into presenting was like the thought of being able to just talk to someone for hours every single day. Yeah. And I feel like even if I don't become an actor, definitely even having just this skill, being a presenter will generally help when it comes to being confident when you're talking to other people. And yeah, so that's why
you're very good at it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're a natural.
Thank you.
Thank you. This has been fun.
It's been really fun.